Good day, class. In this session, we're going to finalize our chapter 11. We're not supposed to be seeing that, so and I want to either duplicate or something. Okay. We gave people enough time. If we are recording, I don't see any issue. Why are we supposed to wait for anyone to join anymore? They will find the recording. So I've just confirmed now that we are indeed live and recording. Okay, so let me just start. Right. Today we're going to cover distribution management. We're going to cover ethics and sustainability, supply chain management. We're going to also cover measuring supply chain performance. Okay, distribution management. Management focuses on the outbound flow of products, designing distribution networks to meet customer expectations, suggest three criteria: rapid response, product choice, service. For the specific company, the typical relationship between number of facilities and response time, cost, and revenue, respectively, are shown below. Okay, as you can see, the more you have facilities in your company. Let's use a pen. The more facilities in your company, the less responsive you become. So meaning that your time to response goes higher. If this was 1 minute, this is probably 2 hours late. So, and as you can see, hold on, I might be lying. More facilities, okay, yeah, more facilities, we're going this direction, and our graph is going down, meaning that when you compare here with less facilities, you can see that what is it saying, this thing? This is time to respond. There's more facilities. What are they saying? Number of facilities. Okay. The less time to respond. I don't understand. I thought time was gonna continue to go down. So less facilities, the higher the response rate. But in this case, looks like we're at the Y, which is the time. So time is going up. I don't know why this graph looks looking like this. Let me erase. It will have to, because most of us, when we prepare mostly calculations. We don't really analyze the slides thoroughly. So this graph to me currently doesn't make sense. I'll cover it on the next coming week. So now on under cost, number of facilities, the higher, you see this one, this is a nice graph. The higher the number of facilities, the higher the cost they. So it's expensive to maintain a lot of facilities. As you can see, dollars are going up here, and they're going up with the more facilities you are adding. And then inventory costs, they tend to be distributed evenly. At some point, you do have an even point, although a sweet point is at 3. The costs are low at 3 facilities, and your facility cost, the exponentially growing. However, it's not bad. So this is actually total logistical cost. The more facilities, the more they skyrocket. Although they start at the higher rate, as you can see here, logistical costs they start at a higher rate. Then facility costs, they also increase exponentially. And the one that tend to subside is the inventory cost. And they say transportation cost, when you have less facilities, it's actually higher. Then the more facilities you have, the lower it gets. Then after that, it tends to go up. As you can see, it will definitely start to go up. But this one, it is projected to go down, which is the inventory cost. So it costs less when you have your inventory costs are less when you have more facilities. Then the profit now and the number of facilities. Yeah, it looks like you can easily experience more revenue when you are having more facilities. There's a good number of your revenue goes higher, and then obviously your cost. So your revenue, I don't think is your profit. I think your revenue is your sales. Then the minus of that, that's when you have your profit. So your profit is playing around this area here. This is where you get your profit. So the more the facilities, according to this graph, the more profit you make. But over time, as you can see, this will seem to cover the revenue, and at some point they will offset each other, and now the revenue will start to go up while your costs start to go. Then this is where it's non-negotiable. Once you have this, you must close shop. Once you have this graph, you must close shop. We can't argue that. I don't know why this thing is changing without me telling it to do so. Okay, so I still need to understand the response time, because if this is in time, the higher the time, it means that you're responding very slow, and it should correspond with the less. So what they are trying to say here, to explain this graph as is, they are trying to say when you have more facilities, the better you are able to respond. This is what they mean. So because the time is less, maybe let's say this is 3 minutes, there it's around about 10 minutes. So they are trying to say the less the more the facilities, the better your response time. Just firms need to affect supplier management program, and effective distribution management program may make the difference between supply chain success and failure. Supply chain ethics, guys. It's very important to understand ethics. We consider 3 aspects of ethics: personal ethics, your own personal ethics, professionalism, your own, let's say, punctuality, honesty, and obviously avoiding plagiarism and stuff like that as a manager, and avoid stealing and stuff like that. So ethics with the supply chain, ethics with the supply chain. This is not self-explanatory. I don't know why they didn't explain it. And ethical behavior regarding the environment. So this regarding the environment. So we know trucking industry, they play a very huge role into our environment. When the trucks are too many and they are moving dangerous goods, they are destroying the roads. At times, you'll find that some of the some of the companies, they have what they call distribution centers, whereby you would find that trucks, they come and they spill maybe a toxic chemical. So all your trucks there, they come to this one area and they spill toxic chemicals. Not necessarily deliberately, but you'd find that over time, this chemical either is supposed to be covered or you're supposed to water it every time with sprinklers. So you need to have an enclosed shelter with sprinklers so that you can always keep it damp. When it's wet, you find that when dust comes, the dust doesn't spread into the townships and stuff like that. But I know most of the time nowadays, the case. So nowadays we know that companies are no longer following the protocols, especially depending with the nearest suburbs or the townships they are around. They tend not to follow these rules and regulations of sustainable supply chain. Right. So under personal ethics, we've salespeople who become friends with customers, do favors for them, take them for lunch. Obviously, after lunch is, yeah, or present small or large gifts. Determining when tokens of friendship become bribes can be challenging. Bribery and extortion. The Institute for Supply Chain Management has developed the following principles and standards to be used as guidelines for ethical behavior. Promote and uphold responsibilities of one's employer. Promote and uphold employers' positive supply and customer relationships, sustainability and social responsibility, protection of confidentiality and proprietary information. What do we know about proprietary information? Unmute yourself and just say anything you know. And what is the correlation between confidentiality and proprietary? What is the distinct that you can pick up? Unmute yourself. Okay. Seems like people are already falling asleep. You will have to wake up for the calculations part, because if you're asleep, I'm not continuing. Confidentiality normally goes with customers' information. You cannot leak customer information to other suppliers or competitors or even marketing company. That's why there's POPIA Act these days that protect personal information. Proprietary, on the other hand, is company-based, basically, stealing their designs and sell them to their competitors. And I think, yeah, selling company designs, prototypes, concepts, ideas, and so on. Applicable laws, regulations, and trade agreements, and development of professional competence. Avoid perceived avoid perceived impropriety, conflicts of interest. Avoid conflict of interest. Conflict of interest can happen in many ways. One of them would be, how do you as a lecturer assess a student whom you are dating? And how do you mark their script fairly? That is conflict of interest. but I know universities sometimes they do their own things as Ecolab. Behaviors that negatively affect, influence supply chain decisions, improper reciprocal agreements. Ethics within the supply chain. Firms must establish standards for their suppliers, just as they have established standards for themselves. Unethical behavior that some companies have engaged in and end up failing upon include psychological or verbal abuse, operating without proper safety devices. This is a very common one. Psychological, I see it. The verbal abuse, it's common in industry. I don't know how you're going to mitigate it, but I know you're strong. You will win. Operating without proper safety devices. When things hit the fence and a person gets injured, a proper investigation will be conducted, and the employee who's found to be injured and they were not using proper PPE, protective personnel equipment, they won't be paid. Instead, they might attract penalties and dismissal, if not, what is that then? Disciplinary hearing. So never be a fan of encouraging people to conduct or to do their work in an unsafe way. Supply chain management ethics. We consider three aspects. This is a duplicate or what? What's happening? Okay, let's continue. Personal ethics, supply chain, and environment. Ethical behavior regarding the environment now. Good ethics extend to doing business in a way that supports the conservation and renewal of resources. It's very important that we conserve our natural resources. This requires evaluation of the entire environmental impact. You need to understand how much impact are you doing or damage you are inflicting in the environment, society, and so on. From raw materials, we cannot ignore how you are mining the raw materials to manufacturer through use of final disposal. Enforcement can be done by in-house inspectors, third-party auditors, governmental agencies, or non-governmental watchdog organizations. Non-governmental watchdog organizations, also known as, forgetting these organizations, but I'll remember these organizations. They're also known as what? I'll remember, I'll come here. Establishing sustainability in supply chain, reverse logistics, the process of sending returned products back up the supply chain for value recovery or disposal. It's very important, this aspect. You know, we have your Shein, your Temu, Takealot, and so on. Their reversal logistics is very critical. How do you return back the product for disposal or for value recovery? Closed loop supply chain, a supply chain designed to optimize both forward and reverse flows. For instance, IBM has recognized that components often have much longer life cycles than the original products that they go into. So the company has established a systematic method for dismantling returns and used equipment to extract components that still have value, such as motherboards, PC cards, and hard disk. This is more like your hard drive cover, or let's just call it what it is, your hard disk assemblies. So when a car reach its end life cycle, you would find that we strip it. We strip for parts. And obviously, they say chop. How do you chop? Chop shop. Then you have your likes of your chop shops in Joburg. They're selling second-hand car parts that can, when you buy them, they can outlive your Chinese counterparts, basically, that are sold by other companies that are not original. These ones are original manufacturer spec, so they will definitely last longer. Okay, then now we are measuring supply chain performance. It's time to get your calculations, guys, your calculators and papers. So metrics such as on-time delivery percentage, defects per million, lead time, and several financial-based inventory metrics are used. We now introduce several financial-based inventory metrics. Supply chain management is critical in driving down inventory investment. You need to do what? You need to drive down inventory investment. The rapid movement of goods is key. Asset committed to inventory. Supply chain managers make scheduling and quality decisions that determine the assets committed to inventory. 3 specific measures can be helpful here, and they include amount of money invested in inventory, usually expressed as percentage of assets. How much of the total assets are we investing in inventory? Then inventory turnover computed on an annual basis, and weeks of supply, which is the reciprocal of inventory turnover. Amount of money invested in inventory, which is percentage invested in inventory. Average, which is equals to average inventory investment over total assets, meaning the total value of your assets. So your inventory, including your inventory equipment and stuff like that, everything that is there over your total assets. That's formula number 1. Formula number 2 is your inventory turnover, which is equals to cost of goods sold and the average inventory investment. So you have finished products that are sold versus how much you invested into making that product, in particularly in relation to inventory investment, where cost of goods to cost to produce the goods or services sold for a given period. Inventory investment is the average inventory value of the same period. which sometimes you are forced to say the beginning inventory investment plus the ending inventory investment over 2. Weeks of supply is your average inventory investment, and then your annual cost of goods sold divided by 52 weeks. These formulas are very important for our next exercise. So, now I'm going to write at the top then. Home depots. Actually, let's do this. Let's leave the exercises. We'll do them once. Benchmarking the supply chain. While metric value convey their own meaning and are useful when compared to the past, another important use compares these values to those of benchmark firms. Several organizations and websites allow companies to submit their own data and receive reports on how they stack up against other firms in their own industry or against world-class firms from any industry. Benchmarking. So as you hear, you insert your own data, and then that data is compared with the data of companies around the world or companies in the same industry as you. Then you generate reports that you can later analyze and see how's your progress. A similar case would be the one that Automotive are doing. They always submit their sales every month. You find that they'll tell you that Jitor sold 5,000 units this month, Toyota Hilux 10,000 units, and so on and so on. So this helps companies to benchmark with each other and to let them know when it's time to close shop also. The SCORE model, which stands for Supply Chain Operations Reference Model. Perhaps the best known benchmarking system is the 5-part model. The 5 parts are as shown below. Plan, which you are planning for the demand, supply, planning, and management. Source, identify, select, manage, and assess sources. Make, manage, production, execution, testing, and packaging. Deliver, invoice, warehouse, transport, and install. Return raw material, return finished goods. The system is maintained by EPIC Supply Chain Council. Please, I would like you to go through this website when you get a chance. I won't do it now due to time constraints. Firms use SCORE to identify, measure, recognize, and improve supply chain processes. The SCORE model defines over 200 process elements, 550 measurable metrics, and 500 best practices. The SCORE model metrics that help firms benchmark performance against industry. Performance attributes, supply chain reliability, sample metric, perfect order fulfillment, calculation, total perfect orders, total number of orders. So this you can easily get it as a percentage. Supply chain responsiveness, average order fulfillment cycle time, sum of actual cycle times for all orders delivered over total number of orders delivered. Supply chain agility, upside supply chain flexibility, time required to achieve an unplanned 20% increase of delivered quantities. Supply chain cost, supply chain management cost, cost to plan, cost to source, cost to deliver, cost to return. So these are the supply chain costs. Supply chain asset management, cash to cash cycle time, inventory delays, inventory days of supply plus receivables outstanding, days of payments outstanding. Okay, Jyoti Potter has total end year assets of 5 million. The first year inventory was 375 a year. Inventory of 350. The annual cost goods, okay, was sold. Okay, these are, it's just the typical, how can I put it, calculations that we're gonna do just now, right? So for an ease of, I need to move to my note, to my OneNote, and start there with the examples, and I'll end up with a problem calculations. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, I really need your attention. I really need your attention. All right. We will start over here. Ignore this. Ignore this also. Okay. Home Deposit Management wishes to track investment in inventory as one of its performance measures. Recently, Home Depot had 11.4 billion invested in inventory and total assets of 44 billion. So now we want to determine the investment in inventory and total assets. Okay. Total assets and use the equation. Percent invested in inventory. So where is the formula? Percent invested in inventory. So we're going to use this formula here. Don't write percent in full. Percent. No, not X. What am I writing now? Sorry, guys. Invested in inventory equals to average. I like to write it like this: average inventory invested over total assets. So total assets is 44. So it means that we're going to say 11.4 divided by 44 billion. So may you kindly punch in this info and tell me what is the answer? Open your, unmute yourself and punch in this data and tell me what's your answer. What answer do you find? Ladies and gentlemen, let's work together on this one.
So
Yebo.
must we just punch in 11,4 divided by 44,4, or must we punch in 11,4 billion?
No. That you just punch it as 11.4. You know why? Remember, they are sharing the same SI unit, which is a billion. You understand? So the same SI unit, meaning that they cancel out.
Okay.
So this we don't need to focus on. Yes, we can always ignore it and just look at the. And also, this is times 100. Look at that. This is times 100. Okay. What do you get? There's a text. Multiplied by 100.
25,675.
Okay, which is 25. Okay. My writing pad is moving on the wrong side. Where am I? How to come this side? Yeah, now I'm here. Okay. 25.7%. Okay, thank you. Then now, over 1 month of depot assets committed to inventory. If Home Depot can drive its investment down to 20% of assets, how much money will it need to free up? Okay. No, this one I did it, but I think because of whatever that I was practicing now, disturbed me. How much money will it free up other users? Okay, investment down to 20% of its assets. How much money will free up for other users? Okay, let's see. Of its assets. Okay, all right. So this one looks like it's a 44.4 multiplied by 0.2. Okay. So for starters, yeah, I think 44 times you need 20% of this 44, which you are getting 8.88 billion. Eh? So now this is just the 20% that you are taking out. So if you were to remove this 20, this 8, I think you must remove it here also. Let's see. I stand to be corrected. I forgot the approach here, which is equals to invested down 20% of. Maybe I must minus it from, yeah, from the 11. Okay, we'll see. Let's erase here so that I don't get confused. Okay, so I must minus it from 11, 4. Then now we're getting our answer, 11.4 minus 8.88, which is 2.52. So firstly, you look for the percentage of the assets. Then after that, you take that value, you minus it from the money that is invested. I think we have invested 11.4. So you minus it from the 11.4. I think, yeah, I made a small and a mistake there. Right, let's carry on. It answers. Let's not show the answers. Let's sit like this. Yeah, what do they want? PepsiCo, ne? Manufacturer and distributor of drinks. The competitor of Coke, ne? It's PepsiCo. Frito-Lay and Quaker Foods provides the following in a recent annual report, shown here in billions. Determine PepsiCo turnover. So we want to determine the turnover, and we see the raw materials there, and we see our total average inventory. We see the cost of goods. So we want to do the inventory turnover. And if you look here, our formula is as follows. Inventory, I like to say T here, equals to cost of goods sold divided by average inventory, which is your cost of goods is 14.2. Over what? Average again. Over your average. Hey, pen. Over your 1.69. So may you kindly punch in this. What do you find? What do you find here? Let's see, 8.4. Yes, I'm also finding 8.4. That's a turnover. And another thing that you need to be careful of here, this is in dollars. This is in dollars, obviously billion here. And there's a billion. The dollars are falling off. You see that you're only left with a value that has no SI units. Usually they would say times. You'll see as we go along, they will say times. Okay. Okay. So what is another question? Use inventory computation. Okay. Measure cost. Okay. 14.2 total. Okay. There's our answer. And then another exercise here, they say if Coca-Cola cost goods sold is 10.8 billion and inventory investment is uh, inventory investment is 0.76, what is the inventory turnover? So obviously you can see we adapt the formula there. You can just put this line here and say 10.8 is your what cost of goods sold over your average inventory, which is 0.76. And how much are we getting? Are we getting the 14.2? 10.8, 0.76. How much are you getting? It's your 14.2. You understand this exercise here? Okay. These are just your calculations in the book. Okay, so what is the problem here? Okay, using the Pepsi data, example 3, management wants to know the weeks of supply for PepsiCo. They want to know the weeks of supply, and the formula is just right here. Now, weeks of supply is equals to the average inventory investment invested over cost of goods sold over 52 weeks. But you gotta be smart with this. To be safe, start by dividing the cost of goods sold. Where is it here? Are we on PepsiCo? Is this still PepsiCo answer? Okay, this is PepsiCo, which is 14.2 billion. So now to be at ease, just take your 14.2 divide by 52 equals to 14.2 divide. What's the answer? Guys, what's your answer? We are handling the cost of goods per week. I don't know whether it's making it per week or what. In weeks. Cost of goods in weeks. So it's equals to, can I have the answer here? $0.27, right? 0.273. Thank you. Okay. Then now I come back here. My average cost is it 8? Oh, I must go to that 1.69, I think. Yeah, 1.69. Okay. 1.69 over 0.273, which is equals to 1.69 over 0.273. How many weeks do we have? This we are getting weeks. What is the answer? This we are getting it in weeks. Are you getting 8? Yes, I'm getting 6. Yeah, I'm getting 6 weeks. And to be precise, I'm getting 6.9 weeks. So yeah, which is the figure that they've managed to get there. And that's what we have done here. Okay. We now know we now have a standard of measurement by which we evaluate companies continuing per performance, or which compare companies. Okay. Right. If Coca-Cola average inventory investment is 0.76 billion and its weeks of weekly cost of goods sold is, look at this, guys. This is very interesting. It says what? Cost of goods. So this statement here, the right way is to say weekly cost of good. Weekly cost of goods sold. I want you to tell me, what am I going to do with the formula? I get it. Now we come here, weeks of supply. We don't really need to. What are we going to write there? Say, please explain the cost of goods sold. Okay, I will try my best to explain the cost of goods sold. So I don't know why they call it cost of goods sold, because it's supposed to be a benefit that your goods have been sold. But when it's a cost, it's a loss. And we're comparing it with the how much we've invested in the, you know what, ne? Look, a product that is being sold, a product that has been sold, you needed to add value to it. Your value added to that component. I like making an example of the fat cakes, your flour, your look at the cost of, if not mistaken. Let's see here. They say it's 14. They're not even explaining what I wanted to explain. So it's revenue, and after that it's cost of goods sold. So this is your sales, and then underneath it's your cost of goods sold. So what you spend in making that product before your inventory. I'm sure there are other costs other than inventory, because there are two costs here: cost of goods sold and inventory. So if you look at inventory is raw materials, is work in progress inventory, and is finished goods inventory. It's just all about stock. You are storing, you are keeping things for time being, and then there's cost of goods sold. So the cost of goods sold, you are looking at, I believe, your production costs basically to produce that not necessarily your material, but your production costs. You need to have your things such as managers' salaries. You need to have your operator salaries. The another example would be, what is this thing? Your fixed rates, your electricity, your water, your machines, your maintenance department. All those things, I believe, they go under cost of goods sold, because there is a cost incurred before you can sell it. There is a cost incurred. I hope that makes sense. For now, let's leave it for now. Uh, where am I? Guys, where am I? Here. Okay. So now, this, do I need to divide my 0.207 billion with 52? Do I need to divide it? Do I divide it? Let's start there. I want people to say yes or no. Do I divide it by 52? Let's answer, guys. Do I divide it? Yes or no? Let's answer, guys. There's one person who volunteered to answer. I won't say whether he's right or wrong, or she's right or wrong. Others, what are we suggesting? Do we divide by 52? In absence of responses, we don't divide because it's a weekly cost. So usually the cost of goods sold is measured annually. You see, inventory turnover, where is cost of goods? Cost of goods produced, sold, given period. Okay, it's not necessarily mentioning it, but it's an annual figure, this one. That's why even on your inventory here, we are speaking about annual basis. That's why. So, and your cost of goods sold is also on that same level. So we didn't need to multiply by 52 here. We knew that is annual. So now when you wanted to take it to weekly, we divided by 52 weeks. So now we already been given a figure in weeks. So we're going to say, we can just come next door here. This is Pepsi. This is Coke. This is Coke. And then we have our average cost for it, which is 0.76. 0.76 divided by 0.207, which is equals to, can I have the answer, ladies and gentlemen? Can I have the answer? 0.76 over 0.207. The answer, it needs to match what is given, 3.67. 3.67, thank you. Oh, why do I write like this? 3.67 weeks. They have to write weeks. They have to write weeks. Let's see. Did they write weeks? You see weeks. So the SI units is very critical, guys. You need to make sure you respect that. All right. So we are given a problem. Example. Solved problems. Jack Pottery Outlet has total end year assets of $5 million. And the first of the year inventory was 375, and with a year-end inventory of 325. Okay, the annual cost of goods sold was 7 million. The owner, Eric Jack, wants to evaluate his chain performance by measuring his percent of. Okay, so number one, percent of inventory invested, which is equals to average invested over total assets, which is equals to here we want their average. Now you see we have two, the beginning and the end. So now it goes to, I just don't remember the formula, but I know it says we have probably the beginning plus ending divided by 2 is equals to 375K plus 325K over 2. 375 plus 325. If you do these shortcuts, you need to be careful and always remember that some values are not the same. K, like that. So you have your 350K there, and the 350K comes here, 350. I can simply say 350K over 5. Yeah, total assets. What is the 7 million? Okay, no, 5,000K. I can simply put it like this, because I just add another 3 zeros, then it becomes 5 million. Yeah, then the percentage now, what is the percentage? 350 divided by 5,000. Okay, remember this is a percentage. I always forget this point. Multiply by 100. 0.07 multiplied by 100, you're getting the percentage, which is 7%. Okay. So what it means is that, guys, we have assets of around about 5 million and only 350 is invested. 350,000 of our 5 million assets is invested into inventory. 7% is invested into inventory. Then, moving right along, they want to know inventory turnover. Inventory, can make a small t there, which is the turnover. I know it's in the number term, cost of goods sold, I believe, over cost of goods sold over average inventory. Average inventory invested. As an engineer, you're obligated to confirm if you are playing the Cramming game. Because if I'm using a computer, I'd rather copy this, come with it down to my equations. What's happening now? Why am I seeing a lot of things? What am I writing here? What am I doing? Yeah, okay. Right. No, not here. Okay, it's actually here. I can just paste this thing there. Yeah, I think it's now a little bit visible. Yeah, it's visible. So cost of goods, yes, and then I think I am correct with my formula. Okay, so we have 7 million, né? 7 million over the 350K, which is equals to, what's our answer? I see 20. Remember, this is dollars, they follow off, we're remaining with 20. It's just 20 or 20 times. Okay. Then the last one, it's weeks now. The 7,000, remember we start by saying weekly cost of goods, which is our 7 million K divided by 52, which is equals to, what's our answer? 1 134.615. And then our formula, oh, we've reached another formula down here. Our formula is this one, weeks of supply. Due to lack of space, we can just write it directly. Which is average, which is 350K over, what was my thing? 134.615, which is equals to, yes, that's correct. Then put it in the formula, 350 divided by 134.615. Then you must get 2.6. Yes. And we are getting 2.6 as they are doing in there. We got 7%. Did we get 7%? Where is the 7% they're talking about? 7%, that's correct. We did get it. And we did get 20 times, and now we're getting the 2.6 weeks. Didn't write what they are finding here, but this is weeks of inventory, so it must be in weeks. Okay. We're all using laptops, right? Can I have a general concession? We're all using laptops, right? We might need Excel on the following exercise, but we're gonna do it in two ways. This exercise is going to cause me to apply my mind whenever I am giving it out. Understand? It's gonna cause me to apply my mind. It's not as straightforward as I want, but I've found a way to do it. How Lee Furniture Incorporate, described in example 1. We fly over. This example, I can just take a screenshot of it. I believe we need this info here, right? Then go down to my exercises. Fall off and paste. We need this data for the next exercise. I don't know why I didn't paste it while I was practicing, but it's fine. Okay, so now we're going to highlight the necessary information. Now, example 1 of this chapter, finds current profit $10,000 inadequate. The bank is insisting on improved profit picture prior to approval of a loan for some new equipment. How would like to improve the profit line to 25,000? So he can obtain the bank's approval. So he needs to increase his profits to 25,000. So what percentage improvement is needed in the supply chain? Remember, in the supply chain, we affect the cost of material. The profit to improve to, what is the cost of material with a 25,000 profit? Ne? So we want two things under A. The percentage of improvement that is needed. Number 2, the cost of material, the cost of material. So we are focusing on this section, on the supply chain with this data. So now, I know you've all forgotten these calculations, but go to again, let's redo them. So in the case whereby you want to increase your profit to 25,000, you need to cut your cost. So you immediately take that cost that is required, you take it out of there. You don't even hesitate, you don't waste time, you just take it out of there. So now you want to ask yourself, what is my desired profit? I desire this 1, 1. Because they're asking 2 questions under one place. I prefer you to do this. So 1, 1 like that. So the desired profit is 25,000, 25K minus the current profit, which gives you 15K. Then now 15K, how much, hold on, yeah, how much improvement are we supposed to make this 15K? So what is our original value? What is our original price? Profit is 10. So we're going to compare this with our 10,000 to get a percentage. So we're going to say 15 minus 10 over 10K multiplied by 100 equals to, I hope I'm not blundering, but this is how you're supposed to do. Needed in the supply chain to improve, which is no, not on the improvement. I'm making a mistake. Sorry. Okay, we have our 15K here, and yeah, but you must compare it with the profit, the current profit. Yeah, I think that makes sense. 15 minus the current over the current equals to 50%. So it says 50% increase. I'm doing this thing wrong. I feel like I'm doing this thing wrong. I need to quickly refer on the other screen. Where are we? Okay. Okay, the 15,000, we are not dividing it because of it's a cost. We're not dividing like this. We are actually dividing with, because we want to take the 15,000 here on the, we want to take the 15,000 on the cost of material. So we're going to say 15,000 over 60,000 like this, and then multiply by 100. So now that's your percentage improvement needed on the material basically. So then now we have 15 divided by 60, which is going to give you 25%. Yeah, it's giving you 25%. Then now we want to know this 15,000 now to the cost. What is the cost of material? The new cost of mat is equals to 60K. Remember, we are talking about this guy. We want the new cost, 60K minus 15. Then you are getting, I think it's 45K. So this is the new cost of material now when you are trying to get a profit of 25,000. So your material cost is going down. Remember, when in this exercise, the material cost needs to go down. Okay. So now the interesting one now is the following one. What needs to happen to our sales? Imagine this exercise. We want to reach 25,000K here. What must happen to our sales? How much our sales are supposed to increase? And with the next exercise, it's a very interesting one. I've done it twice. So it's going to be, but first I know that they're going to ask us about the, where are you? Firstly, they're gonna ask us about two screens, guys. The cursor just disappears, guys. Don't blame me. B1. What do they want? The percentage improvement is needed in the sales strategy for the profit improvement too. How much and what must be the sales for the profit to improve to 25,000 rand? So they want to know the percentage improvement. Something similar to this, what we have done here in the first. But firstly, we need to determine how do you get to a state of 25,000 profit. So we know that profit is equals to sales minus your cost, right? Then your sales at the current moment is 100K. We want to reach a steady stage whereby it's 25K this side, right? So sales equals to, I'm going to move to, this is a trial and error, 200,000. I'm doubling it up, right? 200K minus, this is a very interesting formula, 200K multiplied by 0.6. So this is how we get this from here. Minus this other one. 200K multiplied by 0.2. Minus this one, they say it's fixed. From the example that we have done, this is a fixed cost. It doesn't change regardless of how much we are playing. So it's going to remain as 10K. Then, this is a trial and error. We want to achieve this. I will tell you how many times you must test this. Ne? So we have done it with 150 before. I forgot how much it gave us when we were changing this to 150. So I believe, let's say, no, but 200K, it's maybe giving it too much. Can we start at 150, please? 150. Which is, it's remember, from here, we're having 100, 125, then 150, 175 before 200. 175 before 200. That's what I want us to do. 150. So we're going to erase this to 150. 150. 150. Except the last one. The last one is 10K. Then I'm going to take out my calculator also and do it with you. These are trial and error. So trial 1, for instance. T1. T1. This exercise, if I take it out in the test, it must have a lot of marks, basically. So my calculator, so that we can calculate the same thing, because we are doing trial and error. So where's my calculator now, guys? Okay, so it means that I win. No, not calendar, not calendar. Oh, this oh, all right. So scientific standard, I don't know, what is this? No. How do I go to scientific? There, scientific. Expand. Yeah. So now we are starting 850 minus. So we taken the sales. We have the 125 sales, as you can see. The 125 sales are just after here. There's the 125 sales. We are not into the business of 125. We want to test 150. So how are you going to test 150? Then you say minus, open bracket, 150 multiply. Let's multiply. Okay, let me use this pen. Multiply by 0.7. Remember, in our case now, the what is this? What is this? No, mixing exercise is 60, 0.6. Yeah. Cancel 0.6, close bracket, minus. See now, I like the fact that it's giving you the answer now. It's going down. Okay. Minus, open bracket, 150,000 multiply by, I think these are 0.2, both of them. 0.2 close, then minus 10K. Equals to. So now, you see, when we are at 150,000, we're getting a 20. So you write it. This one, we're getting a 20, which is not equals to 25K. 20,000 is not equals to a thingy. So now you can see that, oh, all right, this is what is happening. So trial number 2 now, we're doing the same now with the 175, which is 25K equals to 175K minus, open bracket, 175K multiplied by 0.6 minus 175 again, and 0.2 minus 10K. Let's now do this. One thing I don't know is the fact if I can edit this. What's the history for if I can edit it? Ah, come on, dude. Sure will be done. This is what I want to edit, man. All right, seems like it doesn't want to work. I was hoping that it will allow me to edit, but it's fine because of it's for demonstration purposes. I need to just cancel everything. All right, so let's gonna do it. 175. Now the sales are 175. Yeah? Minus 175 multiply by 0.6. Let me see what I'm typing now. Oh, 0.6 close bracket minus open bracket 175 close bracket. No, what am I doing? Multiply by no. Why can't this thing edit? Can't you see now? That's what I don't like. I must start afresh. Edit this thing. Okay, yes. Sakelo, thank you so much. The answer we are getting it. So this is a method of trial and error. So obviously on the calculator you can always edit. So if you're using casual, you can be able to go trace back and edit. Unfortunately, I was of the view that this scientific calculator will allow. So now, thank you for that. Now this becomes on trial number 2. So 25K becomes 25K. 25K becomes 25K, which is good. Then in a test, I will say to you probably trial this 3 times, and then I know that on the 3rd step you're getting the answer, or 4 times, and then I provide marks accordingly. And then this is how it looks like on Excel. Obviously, when you change 125, so another thing that I didn't explain, why do these numbers change? I don't know the degree at which you guys appreciate Excel, but 175 is a solid number. This one is not, this one is not, this one is not. So what I did, how I got this was, I need to put it side by side. Maybe I need to also display how do I get things on Excel. That, right? And that. Okay, good. So now I'm going to expand this. So then, okay. Now, we are not focusing on this strategy. We're focusing on this strategy on the side here. So how do I get these values here? Right. So these ones are fixed. That's your 60, 20. Yeah? And this one original is 10%. But this one, we calculate it, as you can see there, we calculate it, I didn't punch it in. So this one, the 60, I punch it in, the 20, I punch it in. This one, I don't need to punch it in because the 10,000 is actually a fixed value, so it remains the same, okay? So now, let's say this is, I remove this. I remove this. I leave the 10,000 as it wishes to be. And then this one, okay, we'll start at 100,000. 100,000. Okay, that's 100K there, right? So now, if cost were only 10,000, you see we're gonna make a profit of 90,000. So now, I then say equals to this percentage, which is 60% of what? Multiply by, with multiplication shift 8, multiply by 100, then I'm getting you my 60,000. Then on this one, I say equals to 20% multiplied by my 100,000. Then you're getting this value. Then obviously this one is just this, you minus from 100,000, then you get your profit. Okay. Then I then say on this one, the D5, which is the 10,000, which is a solid fixed number, divide by my 100,000. So it's a 10% of my sales. Then I keep it as a formula so that it can be able to change whenever I change values. Okay. Then now I say 125.00. Then you see my values change. So because of this, it's 125. 60% of 125 is 75,000. 20% of 125 is 25,000. This one only the percentage changes. It's shrinking to become 8%. As you can see, it's shrinking to become 8%. Now we're going to 150,000. 150,000. We're only changing the sales. Everything else automatically will change. 150,000. You see now, this one goes to 90 and 30, and then this one shrinks. Then now we want this one for the 175. 175, and look at our profit. When we are at 150,000, our profit is actually 20,000, which is not equal to, I believe we had that calculation here at first. You see the 20K not equals to the 25,000 that they are looking for. Then now we are increasing again. 175. And then now we have this 25,000. This one is now 105. This one is 35. This one is 10. And the percentage improvement here is actually 75. How do I get that? Original value, it's your 100,000. So 175 minus 100,000 divide by 100,000 multiply by 100. Then you're going to get that value. So this 75% increase of sales, this is what they're looking for. 75% is of sales needs to increase. So, and also the ripple effect of increasing your sales, it increases your cost of material, and your production cost goes up also for you to make the 175. Okay. Then the 175 on manual computation, this is how we do it. The percentage that they are looking for is going to be 175 minus 100,000 divide by 100,000 multiplied by 100. Then you are getting 75% increase in sales. In order for you need to increase your sales by 75% in order for you to get just a 25,000 rands profit. So increasing sales is not good. Keep that in mind. Okay, my calculations. Yeah, that's 0.75, which is correct. So That's your, so you see the trial and error that we are doing for this exercise. You will have to do it on your calculator in a test for a lot of marks. So we started by doing for B, question 1. These are the steps. You are doing the trial and error. Then once you find the trial and error, then you take that value, you put it in this formula, then you get the 75%. And this is where B.1 is ended. Then now B.2, what are they looking for? What must sales be for the profit to improve? Obviously, they must be the 175. And then it's the 175. 175K. I just need to make sure. Hey, me, I like making sure. B, that's correct. Yes. I hope the computation is straightforward. You just put this on your casual calculator, you test several times, and then you'll get it right. Then on the next exercise, we have, okay, which is the last exercise for the day. The other ones will continue next week. Okay. The production manager of Kennesaw Manufacturing finds his profit at 15,000, as shown on this table. Inadequate for expanding his business. The bank is insisting on improved profit picture prior to approval of a loan for some new equipment. Kemal would like to improve the profit line to 25,000, so he can obtain bank's approval. All right. Now we have the same situation. What is the percentage improvement is needed in the supply chain strategy for profit to improve to 25,000 rands? What is the cost of material at that value? Then we do the same calculations. We say I need to find the weight for this for these calculations that I'm doing, because of we are dealing with the cost on the cost side, which is cost of chain. This one we need to substitute 25,000 directly so that we can see profit. Obviously, once you remove that money from there, then this one will go up. You will do that also on Excel and prove it right. So then we have 25K minus 15K, which is cost to 10K. So he needs to reduce his cost by 10K in order for him to realize that the benefit. So the percentage would be 10K over 175 multiplied by 100, because we're looking for a percentage of improvement. So due to lack of time, let me just do it myself. 10,175 equals to times 100%, which is 5.7%. 5.7% improvement in cost. They need to save, in simple words, 5.7% in costs. You look for anything you can save from here from this 175, then you'll ultimately make your profit. The minute any cent you are saving in cost is directly affecting your profit. Simple as that. So now we have 175. This is question 1, 1. Okay? Then it just ended on the percentage. So here you can give the nice label that we are looking for the percentage of improvement. Then number 2, we're looking for the cost. So we are saving the 10K. So 175, which is our cost here, minus that 10K. It's giving you 175 minus 10K. It's giving you 165. 165K. So now you can make simple matters simple by just saying 250,000 minus 165 minus 30 minus 30. You must get 25,000, and I am getting the 25,000. So just to make sure that we need to say 25 equals to 250K minus 165 that we found from here, minus 30K minus 30K. You are proving it right. So this is a method of testing it again also. You are testing whether it's correct or not. So that's 155K. B. For B1, obviously they're focusing on the sales. You know the formula that we have done for sales. We are testing now. We are if 250 is giving me 15,000. 250,000 of sales is giving me 15,000 profit. I need to push this up. Remember, fixed cost, it won't change. So you go back to your calculator, you do your trial and error, and we're going to have T1 here at 250. I'll do this 2 times. I'll say 250. I want to jump straight to 300. At 300K, I'm hoping for the 300K to give me my profit, which is 25,000. Then we're saying 300K of sales minus 300K multiplied by 0.7. I see in this textbook they just say 0.7 multiplied by 0.7 to save space, minus 300K again. This one must just move away. Okay, multiplied by point what? 2. Okay, minus 30K. I hope you understand why we minus 30K directly. Don't know why these writings are doing here, but it's fine. Minus 30K. So now you punch this thing in your calculator. 25 minus 300K. 300K minus open bracket 300K multiplied by 0.7 minus 300K multiplied by 0.2 minus 30K. The 30K, which is this one. It's a fixed rate, it doesn't change. Okay, then my answer is I find 24. I find 24, then I come back and say, I don't see my writing point again, okay? 25K is not equals to 24K. So we pump this to, we are left with 1,000. I'm gonna pump it with 5,000 more, 350,000. Yeah? So when we do this with the 350,000, we're gonna say 25K not 350, like this, minus 305 multiplied by 0.7 bracket, remember, minus 305 0.12 minus 30k. Okay, so I just changed on my calculator. That's one thing I like about calculators now. You change on your calculator. Right, then we're getting almost. In the test, I'll give you something that is on the dot. It says 25 is almost equals to 24.9. Almost equals to. So we know that it's our 305. So what are they asking us? The percentage improvement. 305 is the new sales. So side please. Yeah. This guy must go down. Percentage improvement is going to be 305 minus 250 divided by 250 multiplied by 100. So that 305 minus 250 over 250 equals 2 times 100, which is it says 22% to me, 22% increase. Right, which is not bad compared to those 75% and stuff. But when you compare also with that 5 point something percent, we needed to improve, you see. And then the value is 305, obviously. The value is 305. For actually, this is B.1 and then B.2. I can't see. I need to sign every time to see my pointer. B.2, there is a 305, obviously, K that we have found. Then we move to Excel as we conclude. Hey, my cursor keeps on disappearing. Two screens is a problem. So now, all right. So let's see. This one, 250 with the cost of material. Konjo, what did I do? I forgot what we did here. Let's not focus on this. Let's come to this one. Right. So now on this one, it is able to nail it to the letter. Yeah. And we're able to say we are starting from 250. We're gonna go to 300 on the dot. So what we get when we get 300,000, we're getting 24,000. You see that? Which, and 25,000 is not correct. And we're gonna go to 305. 305. And then we realize that 305 also is not fund one. So we now start to improve it, and we trim it and say 500. Then it starts to pick up. Then we're like, oh, okay, this is good. Then we play with it. 50. And you're like, all right, this is really, really promising. Then we do it one more time. 5. Then as you can see now, we are at 2499.90. You are almost there. Okay, so here our cost, let's see. No, but for this one, we don't need to calculate in this way. Our cost here, if I am to say we found our value, let's say we are playing around this one, 250 is still the same, and then we reduce by 5, maybe we're going to, or we reduce by 15, the money that we want, the margin that we want, which is 10,000, we minus 10,000 from this. So I need to create a formula, a testing formula here, and say if I'm to do 10,000, I want to save 10,000. Then I come here, rather I say equals to not like this. It needs to be 175. Okay, it won't work, but it's fine. 175. Let's just minus 10,000, which is 165. The formula is straightforward. That's why it doesn't allow this trial and error. And then, yeah, 165, we get our answer without anything being infected. So it's the straightforward calculation here. But this one is a trial and error. As you see here, where am I? Here, the 25 is a desired profit, and the 10K, it's the current profit. When I minus, I see the opportunity, that cost opportunity that I need to reduce, which is 15K. Then when I divide that by 60, I get 25%. When I minus that 15K, then I get a 45K. Then that 45, then it goes to you make your changes, like you on your calculations, you use that 45K to save. Then you know that you are getting that profit that you want. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any questions? I've chowed your time by 7 minutes. Apologies for that. There's just a lot of things to cover, and we are not done. So we'll finish in class. So do we have any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, in the absence of questions and comments, the graph, not really. I haven't yet incorporated graphs, but I like the idea. Because this thing is a very nice trial and error for as a lab, to be used as a lab. But yeah, no, for now, no graphs. I'll see how I incorporate them in future, but not now. Any more questions, guys? How do you feel with the standard of teaching so far? How do you feel with my standard of teaching, the use of these gadgets and stuff like that? How do you feel so far? Can you comment? The weather is allowing people to sleep. I don't blame them. I'll stop sharing while I wait for comments if there's any. You can open the mic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the absence of comments, thank you so much, Chua Nemabe. Thank you. So I will see you next week, guys. Thank you so much. I'll stop recording. Thank you.